We've now got our backpack and we've got our body. The next thing is to do the legs. The legs are basically the same thing as the backpack. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this set of shapes and just like we've done before, I'm going to select all three shapes here. And the way I'm going to do that is by clicking and dragging. And just as a reminder, if you see here how I've clicked and dragged, I made sure that I wasn't selecting any of these other random shapes. I only selected the three that are the backpack. I'm now going to duplicate that set of shapes. So now I have a copy of the backpack. I'm going to make sure that my backpack is moved aside so I don't accidentally mess with it. My body is moved aside so I'm not going to mess with it. I am going to move the outline off of this version of it and I'm going to delete the lighter color because we don't need that right now because the legs don't have any different colors on them. So, one thing I want to point out about the body of this guy. In order to make this look like it's three-dimensional, like he's standing at an angle instead of looking directly at you, the two legs are not the same. So the first thing I want to point out is that the left leg is actually longer than the right leg. So you see here, this is only about that height. This is very slightly shorter. The second thing you might notice is that this leg is slightly narrower. It's a slightly skinnier leg because it's further away. The third thing you're going to need to know is that you can see here this black line. The way that I achieved that, I will show you later. But what it's saying is that this leg is further back than this leg. So those are the things we need to make sure we do. So we need to make sure the right leg is both shorter and skinnier than the left leg. And the last thing I want you to notice about these legs is that they are quite a bit thicker than the backpack. So when we copied our backpack, we're now going to click on it. And again, make sure you select both of the shapes there because we've got the outline and we've got the pink fill color. They're separate from each other. What you're going to do with this is you're going to fatten it up a little bit by dragging to the right. Again, you're going to click on your shape, select one of the blue boxes, and just drag a little bit. And don't do it a lot, just do it a little bit. And once you've made it about the thickness you want it to be, you're going to, whoops, see, that's one of the things you might do on accident. Um, Once you've made it about the width, the thickness you want it to be, you're just going to select it, and then you're going to just kind of move it over, and you're going to try to align it the side with your body because we want to see how it's going to look on our body. So I moved it until the red line matched up the side of my body and the side of my leg as it is here. And then I leave it, and it looks to me to be an okay width. I'm going to move it up a little bit. Again, making sure that I keep it. Oh, the alignment thingy went away. Sometimes the alignment thing hates us. So, oh, that's why. See, I wasn't selecting both of the shapes, and so it got confused. So I'm going to select both the shapes, and now I'm going to move it up a little bit. This is how it's going to look like it doesn't stop. A little bit more. Okay. So that'll work. So that's going to be how your leg is going to match up with your body. You have to move it really high up. And don't worry about the fact that this is covering the colors. We will fix that later. Right now, you just want to be looking at the length of the leg and if it makes sense. And then you also want to be looking at the side to make sure that it's a nice smooth line. Because if it's got a bunch of bumps here, it's going to be clear that the leg is not an extension of the body. So if you see here, this is a nice straight line. So I'm actually going to move it up a little bit more so it lines up a little bit better. And again, remember when you want to move it, you're going to have to do the drag, click and drag because it's not going to let you move both of them at the same time unless you grouped it. So that's a nice, smooth, almost perfect line. The next thing I want to point out is the fact that this leg, what you will see of the leg, so if I were to like move this here, so it looks, oh, it's not even in the front. So this is just a visual. Don't do what I'm doing right now. Don't do this. So this is a visual. If you were to look at the body kind of like this, the leg looks really weird and short. So what we want to do is make the leg a lot longer. So we're going to click on our leg. Again, we got to select both of them and be sure you're selecting the two parts of the leg and not the three parts of the body. And you're just going to stretch it down. And that should be a good height for the legs because we want it to be fairly long. Once you have the first leg figured out, so you're going to make sure it's correct by one, making sure that it's aligned properly so you can see it's a straight line, and two, that you've moved the leg high enough up the body so that the curvature of the corner here doesn't mess with that nice, lovely line. So this leg now in front of the shape, that's exactly where we want it. We're going to leave it right where it is.